Well, well, well. How the turntables.
When is it going to end? What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball recap. A couple days ago, I told you all that I was done talking about the Astros, so about a week has passed, and I've been refraining from making these videos, but I thought to myself, there's two superstars in the baseball community talking about the Astros. You know what? I am not going to let the haters get to me. If I want to talk about the Astros, I'm going to talk about it, because we have Whit Merrifield calling out Jose Altuve, and then Pedro freaking Martinez, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, called out Mike Fiers and pretty much said that he's a rat. So that happened. But before we do that, I quickly want to go over the whole controversy involving Nolan Arenado and his team, the Rockies, because he is not happy with them. A couple days ago, he called the Rockies disrespectful and liars, but he did walk those statements back and he called it out of character. He put out a statement. I'm going to go ahead and read it right now because it's a little weird. It's almost like he was forced to do it. That's kind of what it sounds like. So let's go ahead and read it right now. It's on my Twitter. Nolan Arenado said, and I quote, "There's been a lot of stuff going on that nobody knows about, and I was reacting to what was said and what was out of character for me because I'm very private with my life." I agree. You don't really know much about Nolan Arenado. The Rockies have been talking to my agent and me this offseason about a number of things that will remain between us. I will not speak on these things anymore. I'm getting ready for the upcoming season. I'm working hard to get better for my teammates and my fans. Man, I hate reading in front of you guys. It's like when the teacher calls on you to read an entire page of The Hobbit, you know you're gonna stutter everywhere. I just wanted to go ahead and update you guys because this was front and center of one of my videos a couple days ago. So Arenado, he speaks out against the Rockies, then he retracts his statements. But also, if I throw up the picture again right now and you guys can kind of read it and dissect it on your own. Again, if you're asking me, a neutral baseball fan, I'm not a Rockies fan, I'm a huge Nolan Arenado fan, so maybe there's a little bit of bias in me saying this. I feel like his agent said, you know what, if you want to go ahead and make yourself look better, just go ahead and say that you are worried about the upcoming season. There's been some things that have been mishandled internally, but I'm not going to talk about them anymore. The way I conveyed myself previously, it was out of character. I still meant what I said, but the way I approached it was wrong. So Nolan Arenado, I think we all have your back. No one wants to see you in the Rockies uniform anymore because the team is that bad and that poorly managed. I'm hoping that he goes to the Cardinals or even the Dodgers. The Dodgers would be a perfect fit because they have yet to sign really anyone huge this offseason. So if they can steal Nolan Arenado, that's amazing. Now that we have the Nolan Arenado apology out of the way, we're going to go ahead and dissect exactly what Whit Merrifield said about Jose Altuve. So if I look over here, it's because I have a script, so there's a lot to say. Whit Merrifield said that Jose Altuve cheated him out of a 2018 All-Star Game appearance. So if you don't remember, Jose Altuve was the starting second baseman for the American League All-Stars. And this Whit Merrifield, big ups to you. I'm a big Whit fan, even though he's on the Royals, and I shouldn't like him because I'm an Indians fan. You guys might not know because I got Lou Gehrig back here. I'm wearing a Rays shirt. I'm a baseball fan first, obviously, because I have a baseball channel. I'm an Indians fan second, so I'm trying to stay neutral. But I don't really understand what Whit Merrifield was trying to say. The only thing, he was just piling on at the fact that the Astros are cheaters. But his quote, let me read it before I talk about the stats, because Jose Altuve did not cheat anyone out of an All-Star Game appearance. Let me tell you why. But before the quote, Whit Merrifield said, "I'm going to consider myself an all-star for that year, 2018, with all this stuff that's come out." Because MLB player, he didn't even quote Jose Altuve, so he's not even willing to put a name to it. He says, because MLB player and the Astros cheating kept me from being an all-star that year. We'll put an asterisk by 2018. And on top of it, we'll go ahead and throw in a silver slugger for good measure. So I feel like 50% of them is just joking, and then the other 50% is really saying like, no, for real, like I had an all-star season. I should have been starting that game. But the facts are the facts. You still have to be realistic. Yes, the Astros cheated, but I don't think that the Astros cheating in 2018 was as bad in 2017 because the MLB reports have said that in 2018 they cheated a little bit and then they found out it wasn't as effective because the rest of the league started to know what the Astros were doing behind the scenes, so it wasn't as effective. As evident by Jose Altuve's better road stats in 2018 as opposed to him absolutely raking at Minute Maid Park. That's all besides the point. Let's talk about the first halves for Whit Merrifield and Jose Altuve, and we'll see who deserves it more. Whit Merrifield in the first half of 2018 had 109 base hits, 5 home runs, 30 RBIs, and an 812 OPS. Not exactly. I mean, he did steal about 17 stolen bases, so maybe you could have that as an argument. But Jose Altuve had 129 more base hits, 20 more than Whit. He had 9 home runs, 44 RBIs, and an 865 OPS. And also, like I said, he had better stats on the road, so he was not benefiting from the banging on the trash can. So there's the whole argument that Jose Altuve, he needs to give his MVP back in 2017. Maybe you can make that case because that is when the banging on trash cans was happening every single game. But for 2018, the road stats are there. It wasn't as prevalent, and in my opinion, Whit Merrifield, you did not deserve the Silver Slugger or an All-Star selection over Jose Altuve. Even the fans gave Jose Altuve 4.8 million votes, which was the best of that year. The second place guy was Mookie Betts at like 2.5 to 2.8 million votes. So Jose Altuve was 100% better in terms of getting votes as any other player in the American League. And this was the same season that Mookie Betts won MVP. So that says a lot. Jose Altuve, he deserved to be the starting second baseman of the 2018 All-Star Game. For all the hate that the Astros have been getting, this was the one where it does not make sense. And also, Whit, you didn't even have like an 850 OPS at the end of that season, so why would you deserve a Silver Slugger? Love you, Whit, but that doesn't make sense. You're just hating just to hate at this point. That's my opinion. I don't know really why he chose to say it because it doesn't make him look that great baseball-wise because the stats are there. Even aside from, if you take the trash cans out of it, Jose Altuve was still better than you that year. Just my opinion. Sorry. So before we move on to Pedro Martinez calling out Mike Fiers for pretty much being a coward, let me know in the comment section down below. Are you on the side of myself saying that Whit Merrifield should have really not said this because it almost makes him just look petty? Or do you think that he was really cheated out of an appearance by Jose Altuve? Now, if you're a Royals fan, I pretty much expect you to be biased, but if you're an actual baseball enthusiast, please let me know what you think. Now, Pedro Martinez, he talked a lot about Mike Fiers, and if I want to summarize it, I'm going to read his quote so I don't get anything wrong about what he said. Just to summarize real quick, he says that Mike Fiers should have called him out while he was an Astro and not called him out a few years later when he was a part of a different team. But let me read the quotes real quick. If he was to do it, again, this is Pedro Martinez talking about Mike Fiers. If he was to do it while he was playing for the Astros, I would say Mike Fiers has guts. But to go and do it after you leave the Houston Astros because they don't have you anymore, that doesn't show me anything. You're just a bad teammate. If you tell me that Mike Fiers is coming to my team and you already threw your team under the bus, that team you used to play for, now everybody knows you are going to have a whistleblower in any other situation too. So pretty much what he's saying is that if you sign Mike Fiers, you're going to have a snitch on your ball club. You can't trust them anymore. But you can't trust the Astros either, so what are we really saying here? Whatever happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse, and Mike Fiers broke the rules. I agree with cleaning up the game. I agree with the fact that the commissioner is taking a hard look at this, but at the same time, players should not be the one dropping the whistleblower. If you have integrity, you find ways to tell everyone in the clubhouse, hey, we might be, this is him quoting, saying that this is what Mike Fiers should have done. Hey, we might get in trouble for this. I don't want to be a part of this. You call your GM, you tell him, or you call anybody you can, or MLB, or someone and say, I don't want to be part of this. Or you tell the team, get me out of here, pretty much trade me. I don't want to be a part of this. Then you show me something. But if you leave Houston, and most likely you didn't agree with Houston when you left, and then you go and drop the entire team under the bus, I don't trust you. I won't trust you because we have that rule. So in summation, we're going to talk about both sides, the Pedro Martinez side and then the Mike Fiers side. He is saying that because Mike Fiers benefited from this, he chose not to snitch on his teammates while he was a part of the Houston Astros. He should be considered a coward and he should feel ashamed because he ratted when he was not part of the team. And a lot of people are calling to one single game in 2019 where everyone thinks that Mike Fiers had enough. He was beat 15-0 at Minute Maid Park when he was a member of the Oakland A's. He gave up 9 earned runs and 1 innings pitched, and everyone thinks, maybe he was just vindictive. And really, his final appearance against them in their home ballpark, he gets absolutely shellacked, and everyone says it was vindictive, it was spiteful. He only called them out because he's not a member of that team anymore, and he just got raped. So that kind of makes sense, but let me give the counter argument. The counter argument against Pedro Martinez is the fact that, let's face it, Pedro Martinez and anyone else watching this right now, if you are a member of a competitive team and you are on your way to the World Series, there is no way that you're going to blow the whole thing up, especially as a pitcher. Mike Fiers, individually, Mike Fiers does not benefit from this at all. He's a pitcher. There's no banging on trash cans when he's facing the Yankees. That is null and void. He's just going out there facing the Yankees. It's up to him to get outs, whereas if you're Jose Altuve, you have the advantage. Anyways, we all know that side of it. Mike Fiers did not directly benefit from this on an individual basis, but the fact is, He's not going to snitch on his team. If let's say I'm in the Little League World Series and I know that I'm playing with the guy that's 17 years old, he's got a full-grown mustache. If they find out that he's 17 years old, that's up to them. I didn't choose to put him on the team. Mike Fiers did not choose to put the cameras in center field and bang on trash cans. It was all the executives. It was the people sending out emails. Mike Fiers is not going out to the scouting department saying, hey, go find some scouts and interns to see if they can install cameras. He was just part of the team. And Scott Boras, the agent for most of the Astros players, he actually backed up Mike Fiers by saying it's almost like you're going 55 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone, but there's no signs saying that it's 35 miles an hour. You do not know that you're speeding until you know that you're speeding. So essentially what he is saying is that all of the Astros players should be forgiven and they don't have to apologize, even though the owner of the Astros says that during spring training, the Astros players are going to have to apologize. Boras is saying, nah, F that. You were told to cheat and you didn't know that it was wrong because the Astros didn't say that this was not against the rules, even though everyone should know that a camera in center field is prohibited. That's bogus in my opinion. But I guess Scott Boras does have a point. Robert Manfred gave full clarity to all of the Astros players in 2017 saying that if you tell us exactly what happened, you will not be punished. That's why Alex Cora and the manager for the Astros, AJ Hinch, they've already been punished because they were snitched on by the players. And then because of that, Manfred said, you know what, because you told us what was fair and you were honest with us, you will not be punished, except for Carlos Beltran. He was a player at the time, and then he had to step down. So poor Carlos Beltran, I still think that he should be the manager for the Mets. But that's the story right now. Everyone is saying that Mike Fiers is a coward because everyone was vindicated and they were all told to tell the truth. They all told the truth, yet Mike Fiers is still coming out. So on one hand, I understand what Pedro Martinez is saying, that if the Astros players were already forgiven and they're not going to get in trouble, why is Mike Fiers talking about this in 2019? Because it was 2017 and about half of 2018 where they were cheating. It stopped for the most part because MLB said that it did in 2019. So why are you snitching? I think it's just vindictive. Maybe I'm turning a new leaf on this whole situation because before I thought Mike Fiers was the hero. Now I kind of have a different perspective that because we found out that everyone was forgiven on the Astros club, yet you're still snitching. It doesn't really entirely make sense as to why. The motive seems to be very spiteful. And that's it. Maybe you're on the side of Scott Boras and thinking that, it's just one of those things that they didn't know that they were cheating, even though they should have known. So it's a very, very weird situation, and let me know. Are you on the side of Pedro Martinez, or are you on the side of Mike Fiers and Scott Boras? Let me know. Wrap up this video, I want to bring up 3 more things super quick. Marcell Ozuna signs a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Braves. The Braves, they are going for 110 wins. And they're trying to decimate the National League. So good for the Braves. You should be excited. Next up, we have Josh Donaldson and his press conference with the Twins. And then the end of video, Derek Jeter in his Hall of Fame jersey talking about his greatest play, the flip. So thank you guys for watching. I know this was kind of a long video, but it's okay. We had some juicy topics. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.
When at the beginning there's a lot of interest that was being shown. And I remember the Minnesota Twins in there. I think it was probably about a week or two. I called my agent Dana, said, hey man, I want you to call the Twins and let them know that I want to be there. And I think it's a real opportunity for
now you're seeing the ball in the air and it has to be a clean exchange to throw it home. Worst case scenario, if you look at the replay, it could have gone to third.
So that was what, 2001?
Yeah,
I think it's a fantastic play. Not a lot of people teach that.
I haven't talked about this in depth like this in my entire career. Like I said, I was never invited.